Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent ya.
In the 90s, we were just teeny tykes. We went to movies and our bikes. We wanted to be DJs, but we were just teeny gals. So we went off to college and we remained as pals. 20 years later, we're still watching flicks and we're bringing you the favorite bit by bit. Sweetie and Sweetie, we're here to say it's the Large Marge sent us podcast. Hey.
Hey guys, welcome to the Large Marge Sent Us podcast, your favorite podcast where two sweetie sisters talk about their favorite flicks from childhood. I'm Sweetie with a Y.
And I'm Sweetie with an IE.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year 2020. 2022. 2022 to you.
We made it another year.
Oh my God. How was everyone's
So
New Year? Sweetie, how was your New
exciting.
Year?
Pretty boring.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that.
I had a baby New Year, so we got together with a couple that had
Baby New
a
Years.
Sweet Eye Jimmy's cousin who also has a baby and had a baby New Year's.
Baby
really
New
fun. Though
Year's.
we didn't like stay there until midnight. We came back here,
Ooh.
put the baby to bed,
Classic.
then stayed up till midnight.
Classic old person routine.
Yeah, totally. It was weird, but continues to be another like weird year with the pandemic and celebrating anyway. So like, who the fuck cares, right?
Yeah.
But New Year's resolution, I think, as we said in our last podcast of last year, do more podcasts, right?
It was?
So
I don't think we did a very good job at that.
yeah, no, we definitely said that. We're a little late to the game, as it's like what second week in January. Oops.
Who's keeping count?
I know. So yeah, bad for us, but we're gonna do it, guys. I just have a feeling. I didn't put my resolutions into a bonfire like I usually do every year.
Maybe you
so
should
it
have.
might not come true.
That's probably why we didn't
I
podcast
know,
enough
I
last
know.
year.
So maybe we need to do it after this podcast. We'll do a candle or something. Anyway,
Candle in the
Happy
wind.
New Year. Large Marge sent us. What can't you wait to do, sweetie?
Well, I can't hardly wait to talk about Can't Hardly Wait.
Oh my God, that's so clever. Awesome. So we did for our first movie, 2022, Can't Hardly Wait, from 1998.
Shocking. I would
Why?
have said 2000. I
Yeah.
was like very convinced.
I agree. It feels like a 2000er for sure. Because this means that I was just in high school when this movie came out. I did feel like I was slightly older, but what are you going to
Guess
do?
not.
You would have been in middle school, right?
What? I
Yeah.
guess.
7th grade?
No.
6th grade.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, 98?
1998, I
I
was
was in no, I was in like 4th grade or 5th
What?
grade.
No,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, when Walking on the Sun came out, I was in 5th grade because that's when I got it the year I got it for Christmas, and I also got those little speakers and I played it all the time.
Okay. So in 1997, fall of 97, I was a freshman. And in the spring of 1998, I was, fall of 98, I would have been a sophomore. So you, I think, were in middle school.
Lies.
When I was in high school, you were in middle
Liz
school, weren't you?
Dumas graduated high school in 97. I was in 3rd grade. We've been through this. 3rd grade, I was in 3rd grade.
Okay.
In 97.
I thought we always just missed a year in school. Like when I was in high school, like you were in the next school. But I guess that's wrong because there's only 3 years in
Yeah.
middle school. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Long story short,
God.
Sweetie was a baby and I was in high school. Okay. So Can't Hardly Wait is a high school movie, I would say. Now, we've covered the high school movies from the 80s, you know, the John Hughes sort of era ones, Can't Buy Me Love, ones that we were always really about like cliques and jocks and nerds like against each other, right? Or like a nerd always trying to be cool. That was like the big theme in the 80s high school movies, I feel like, right?
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah. And then we have done quite a few 90s, 2000s high school movies, which are the ones that we grew up in. And I feel like that, you know, wasn't necessarily always the theme of those, including this movie in a lot of ways.
I feel like, wait a minute.
Not
Kind of.
all of them, but still kind of continues that like that high school is so cliquey that there's all these little groups. Yeah. So this one really continues that, right?
Totally.
When do you remember seeing this movie for the first time?
So this was another one that Kim Kaplowitz had on.
We need to have Kim Kaplowitz on the podcast. Can you reach out to her? Maybe she listens. We've always thought that.
Maybe.
You bring her up so often.
This was definitely a VHS that we frequented in her little TV with the built-in VHS player. And we would. This is definitely one of those movies that was like way too old for us, but we thought we were so cool for watching it. Although we famously hated the Jenna Elfman as the angel part. We thought that was so boring. I think we would like fast forward through it.
Not a huge part
It's
of
just
it.
like, ugh, it's so boring. I still hate that part. I'm like, ugh. But yeah, that was our first exposure.
Okay. I love that you watched it like when you were too young, but you
Totally.
were like, I'm cool. I just love that feeling.
Yeah.
We've talked
We
about that
were
a lot.
cool.
Yeah, on this podcast. I probably saw this definitely like whilst I was in high school. Wasn't like super fan of it. I don't know. There were parts that I thought were funny, but I don't think I was as connected to it as some people. It has once, I started going through who was in this movie, and a lot of people weren't even listed in like the credits. They just popped up.
Cameos.
Yeah, cameos. This is has a crazy ensemble cast. So many people from the 90s. It was just, it's bonkers.
I don't think we can even name them all.
Oh, I'm going to name them all. Okay.
What?
So who's in this movie? Here it goes. J. Love Hewitt. What was her like little name? Was it J. Love?
Jennifer Love. Jennifer Love.
No,
JLH.
did she have like a fun name like J. Love?
I don't know if we had gotten to that point yet where we were giving people fun names.
All right. So Jennifer Love Hewitt from originally Party of Five fame, and then was in like a good amount of 90s movies, including I Know You Did Last Summer, right? Big movie for her. Wait, what's the big line from that?
What are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for? Yeah, sorry, I just had to do it. Ethan Embry, the little darling of 90s, I would say, high school movies and beyond. Charlie Corsmo, my favorite character in this movie by far. He's the best. Known as the little kid in Hook. Dick Tracy.
Yep. Big
and
one.
then something else that I was like, oh yeah. No, I can't remember. But yeah, love that bitch. Lauren Ambrose.
She's great.
Redhead from
6 Feet Under.
6 Feet Under fame. Peter Facinelli. That's how you say his name. Don't remember any other movies. He has like a Tom Cruise
like an asshole face. I think he was just assholes in movies.
I think so too. And he was married to Jenny Garth. They had 3 kids. Cool. Since divorce, so no longer. Seth Green as one of my favorite roles for him as a wigger.
Are we supposed to say that?
Yeah,
Are we supposed to say that?
You can say wigger.
But then it's implying that like you're okay saying the other word.
Well, it's not really that word.
All right. Well,
I think it's an apt description of.
I call him unfly white boy.
Pretty fly for a white guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, drinking tea. Sean
told her not to drink it because I didn't want her to be sipping on the
Sweetie
mic.
said there's some unspoken rule about you shouldn't be drinking during a podcast.
Or eating and drinking.
God, who knew?
Well, because you hear everything in the
I know.
in the mic.
Camille just felt so cozy right now. It's freezing today in Boston, so
not as cold as it's going to be tomorrow.
I know. Sean Patrick Thomas from Save the Last Dance.
We'll never remember his name.
Fame. I know.
It's too many.
Patrick Thomas.
All
Neil Patrick
normal
Harris. Too many.
Yeah,
Three name
too many.
actors.
Three names with like all the same name.
Why do you need 3 names? His
You
name would be
don't.
Sean Thomas, and that was just
That
not
would be
like,
so much. No
not
one else.
original
There's no
enough?
other Sean Thomas.
Is it like, when you always hear of people who have assassinated other people with 3 names because they need to differentiate from someone else in
You
the
did tell
world?
me that many times.
So like everyone whose name is like Lee Oswald would be like, no, I didn't do it.
No one's name
But
is Lee Oswald. Like it's pretty unique
Lee
enough.
Harvey Oswald. Like that's pretty unique.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Donald Faison. Clueless.
Donald.
Scrubs. Jamie Priestley. Do you remember that show Everybody Loves Earl?
Yeah.
She was in that. Remember?
Didn't she win like an award for that?
Yeah, I think so. I think that was like legit show.
Shit, dead.
Jason Segel popped up there at the end.
Weird. As the watermelon guy.
Yeah, the watermelon guy. Funny. Melissa Joan Hart. Peach. Her as yearbook girl. Jenna Elfman as the angel. Sweetie loves to hate here. Hates that scene. Stripper angel.
I love to hate it. I just hate it.
I'm a dancer. Jerry O'Connell as Trip McGillicuddy or something. What was his name?
Trip McNully.
McNully? Yeah.
McGeaney.
And I think that was it. That's all I wrote down. Yeah.
Selma Blair.
Oh, Selma Blair. Yep.
Briefly, I didn't even see her. I missed it. I don't believe she's in it, but she was in the credits. Audrey from Vegas Vacation, which is interesting because Ethan Embry also in Vegas Vacation. So little reunion.
Pubes guy from
She's All That.
She's All That. Yep.
Did you say Breckenmeyer?
Nope. Breckenmeyer
from also Clueless. Yeah, and just like random the guys that you're like, oh, that guy, this guy, that guy.
Peeps.
So yeah.
So the director of this, two directors, directing and writing partner that did a bunch of movies together. So Harry Elfont and Deborah Kaplan. So here's a couple other movies that they've done. Some of Sweetie's favorites. So I think you seem to like these two style apparently.
What?
Because they directed Josie and the Pussycats.
Oh my God.
Also wrote Josie and the Pussycats. A Very Brady sequel.
So good. Skill.
I was like, oh my God, this is like Sweetie's favorite like writing team. The Flintstones. Okay. No.
Didn't see that one.
Yeah. Maid of Honor. Patrick Dempsey.
I never really saw that one.
Monaghan.
No, but we were just talking about that the other day.
And Leap Year.
Leap Year. Oh, the
Amy
sad
Adams.
one?
No, Amy Adams.
What's the sad one?
She like goes to Ireland.
P.S. I Love You, I was thinking of.
That guy who's in
I never saw that.
Now. Yeah. So yeah, sweet little writing team, sweet little film. It's cute. I probably haven't seen this in good 20 years. It's been a long time. And it was darling. It was darling.
Interesting. I would call it it's a little bit on the raunchier side, I guess, of like the teen comedies. I definitely felt like super like a bad girl for watching it because like there's so much sex talk and adult words and things. So yeah, but it's definitely like it's a party movie. Like the whole thing is just at a party, right? So it's a lot of drinking, a lot of like insufferable young men, and yeah.
Yeah, I thought it got high school pretty right. As we talked about, high school movies are all about these cliques that happen. So you have the cool kids, you have the not cool kids, you have the not cool kids wanting to be the cool kids. You have a not cool kid like befriending a cool kid, and like all the walls coming down in terms of like who's cool and who's not cool. Usually have a house party involved. There's usually some kind of graduation, prom, whatever. And there seems to be a lot of this like unrequited love kind of thing going on. I've always liked you. You never notice me kind of a thing. So that is all over this movie. So they really, use that to their advantage. And I think pretty well. And yeah, it's like funny. It's not like out of control funny, but
there's some funny lines and moments,
funny parts, stuff that you really remember. And the cast was great. Is great. I mean, I think everyone's like fits
totally
fits
totes
their parts, and like good soundtrack, I'd say too. Good
great
soundtrack, right?
Yeah. Well,
really
sign of the times.
Yeah, really took me back.
Yeah,
and we'll go over one of the main songs. Because it's Sweetie's here. Jam.
Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, great song. But we'll get into that later, a little bit later. For now, I say we kick it off.
Sweetie. It's time for the Sweetie synopsis. Yeah, Sweeties. It's terrible. Nobody drank the beer. The beer has gone bad.
Wow, full set. Great. Love that line. Preston Meyers is a dreamer. Legit, he is a dreamer. Like, it's out of control. He's like this kind of like soft-spoken, sweet guy who's like good at school, and his entire high school career has been ruined by his love for Amanda Beckett, the hottest girl in school. And unfortunately, he's graduating, and he feels like he's lost his opportunity. Except he finds out that Amanda Beckett and her boyfriend Mike Dexter, most popular guy in school, broke up right after graduation or right before or something. So he's like, this is my chance. This is the end. So that's kind of his mission. Okay. Yeah. This is his overall
dream come true.
Mission.
I mean, there's nothing worse than having a crush like that and having them date someone the entire, length of high school like that. What a bummer.
Yeah. Sucks. Totally. But so as with most high schools, there's a graduation night party at some rich girl's house who decided she would be the one to throw the rager, but like didn't want anyone touching things. It's very strange.
Yeah, invited literally the whole class and is spazzing out.
Strange. I do love that character though. Like she has some great moments.
God bless those parents for going away graduation weekend. I mean, what? They weren't a graduation?
Yeah, wait, what? Weird. I guess because they're rich and they're like doing rich parent stuff. I don't know. But so there's this big party, and so everyone's there. So Preston's there with his friend Denise, who like hates parties in high school pretty much. Can't wait to leave. She hates everyone. And then who else do we have? Kenny Fisher, who's the fly white boy. Pretty not fly for a white guy, I guess you'd say that. He thinks he's black and super cool. So
wears
he's like,
goggles.
wears these like goggles. It's like, hey, baby, go, like, yeah, like his mission is to get laid. So that's common
he has
mission.
A backpack full of like
the love kit,
which is like. Tons of condoms, a romantic candle, different flavored lube, everything he thinks you need to seduce a woman. And really, he just needs to like be himself.
Right. And then we have, the nerd William, who's his mission. Everyone has kind of a mission at this party. William's mission is to humiliate Mike Dexter, who has made his life in high school living hell, basically, because William's a nerd and Mike Dexter's like a popular jock, so very mean to poor William. So he has this whole plan. He's gonna like lure Mike to the backyard. They're gonna jump him, and then they're gonna like set him up in some embarrassing Polaroid with his buddies in like some gay situation. Because it's the 90s, so we still have that gay panic. Yep. Still got it.
Gay panic.
Woo! And then Mike Dexter, again, we mentioned him, but like his mission is really to put Amanda behind him and like move on to college women. So I don't think he's going to find college women at this party, but he's just there to be like, I'm free, I'm the best, blah, blah, blah. He tries to get his buddies to dump their girlfriends, and like it works for like a second, but then the buddies are like, never mind, these girls are hot. Where else am I going to get sex? Probably nowhere. So he's kind of pissed about that. So his life is kind of like slowly unraveling also throughout this party. And then Amanda Beckett's there for whatever reason. She seems like very aloof and like not into this party, but like, why are you there? I don't know. So her goal, I guess, is to put it behind her, or so show that she isn't destroyed by this breakup, so to speak. So that's like the main cast of characters. There's all these little like side characters also, but these are the main ones who like want something. So the whole movie is just going through the party. So we start at the start of the party, basically through the end. Several shenanigans take place. The main story is really Preston's, and unfortunately is like also the most boring one.
I was just going to say that. I was like, yawn. I could care like less about
how does Preston get his crush Amanda to pay attention to him so he can tell her how much he loves her and they fall in love?
And I feel like Ethan Embry is such like a sweet actor, and I really have enjoyed almost every other role he's ever played. And this one, he was just kind of like,
because like it's never, I don't know, like his parts are like never like really funny or something, so it's kind of like a drag. So you want to get back to his
personality
the good
is like
times.
kind of
it's kind of okay, like he's not, he's like just like a guy, he's just like a dude. So he goes through some ups and downs. He like tries to tell Amanda that he loves her like several times. One time she's making out with some guy, but it's
really she was being assaulted.
She was being
by
actually
her
assaulted by her second cousin. So he could have saved her, and then they could have gotten together that way. He leaves the party, meets a stripper, and then has this like Barry Manilow situation night, whatever. Mandy keeps being played on the radio, so he thinks it's a sign. Preston Meyers is very like who I was in middle school. I feel like he just like has a very strange idea of the world where it's like, yes, this song 100% means that this is my destiny. Yeah. And it's like, no.
Well, he's like a destiny person, right?
Yeah. He's
he
a dreamer.
believes in signs. Like he believes in a soulmate.
He's a dreamer.
He's a dreamer.
He seems like a dreamer. So eventually, so he had written this note to Amanda. Did he write that a while ago? Yeah. And he's been holding on to it
I
since
feel like
freshman year.
Freshman year.
Yeah.
You know when like in English class where you write like, "Dear Emily,"
note to yourself
for senior year, and you open it up.
Well,
I think we've talked.
I never got my letter, but I did write one.
Oh, I think I talked about
yeah,
this.
Yours said, like, "I hope you have a boyfriend by now."
And I was
but you
like,
didn't.
God, no. It never happened in all these years.
And look at you now.
It was soul crushing.
Boyfriend.
Yeah, I didn't have a boyfriend. I was
to
like
husband,
35.
to baby. This avocado is too ripe.
Shit, we had another avocado. We had tacos tonight, and I was like, "Oh, I'm bummed. We ate all those avocados."
Very soft. It's very soft.
Damn it.
Should put it in the fridge. Harden it up a bit. So, yeah, he had written her this letter. His friend Denise tells him like not to give her that letter. He throws the letter away after he sees Amanda being assaulted because he thinks it's like, oh, forget it. It's over. She's already moved on. As luck would have it, happenstance, that letter gets dropped on the floor. Someone steps in sticky icky bubblegum. And the letter attaches to their shoe. They bring it inside and it goes through like a wild, what is that called? It's like I don't know. It's like another movie like that. It's like a mousetrap, but like it's like a thing where like it
the
keeps
craziest
like
game you'll ever see.
Like a bug. I don't know. There's like some other scene where something similar happens. But the letter ends up basically right in front of Amanda. And it has her name on it. So she's like in the snack mix. Which is like gross because that letter was like on someone's like sticky gum foot. And now it's in the party mix. Like, don't eat the party mix. I guess you should never eat the party mix anymore. At these kinds of ragers. Like, never a good idea.
It's like peanuts on a bar.
You should only eat snack food at parties if you are the first person to like open the bag and like, or if you see them being dumped in the bowl. Like, if you were there for the initial contact, you can eat it. But like, I would say chips and snacks at parties after 30 minutes, an hour, probably not safe.
Well, especially at a party where the entire senior class is at. Like, that's a lot of people dipping into the snack bowl.
Yeah, maybe there also didn't seem like there were enough snacks, but who am I to...
It's all about the beer.
Where's Nigel with the brie is all I'm saying. So she opens the letter and she's like, oh my God, someone does love me. So this whole time, Amanda's been like spiraling because she's like, I was somebody and now I'm not. And I don't know, it's just you. And it's like, oh my God, please get over yourself.
5 minutes.
Move on. Mike Dexter was an asshole and a psycho, so like get over it. But she finds this letter of somebody being like, I love you, and she's like, who's Preston? So she goes and like asks all these people who the fuck Preston Meyers is, and everybody's like, bitch, he's sat next to you like all 4 years. I guess they had the same English class for 4 years. That's kind of crazy. But like classic popular girl doesn't pay attention to people. I don't like if you were in the same, I mean, that's awful. If you don't know all the people in your class.
If you were a huge high school, I guess. Like our class was what, 250 people, let's say. So that's not huge, but I definitely knew everyone in my class. You know,
right?
Definitely, you'd been to school with them since middle school,
yeah.
So like obviously you knew them. But I guess if you had a huge class, but there is no excuse if you have classes with someone, especially all 4 years, and do not know who they are.
Man, duh.
That's like fucked up, and that is such like a high school movie cliche. I'm sure this happens in the real world, but not for me. I remember everyone I've ever met. So
yeah. So she's now her goal is to find Preston Meyers, whoever that is. And Preston has now changed his mind after his like one-on-one with the stripper and has decided to like go back and get what he believes is rightfully his. So he goes to tell Amanda once and for all that he's in love with her. Unfortunately, all the other guys have just witnessed her shouting at Mike Dexter because Mike Dexter has decided that he doesn't want to break up with Amanda anymore because all of his friends have not moved on. That's who he was. And like that was his identity.
McGillicuddy tells him,
and
like,
Trip McGillicuddy, Trip McNulty said, "Hold on to your high school girlfriend." So he tries to get her back, and she basically, has a great speech and is like, "No, fuck you." Meanwhile, all the guys decide to throw themselves at Amanda in this period. And unfortunately, that's when Preston decides to confess his love to her. And so she just thinks he's another one of those guys. And she really lets him have it. Like, he's like the last one that she lets get to her. And she's like, rah, rah, rah. And then he's like, oh, I'll never be the same. And then leaves. And then she finds out later that was Preston Meyers. Whoopsies. So that after that, she finds him waiting at the train station to go to school. She had gone to his house. She went from not knowing who Preston Meyers was to like, oh, let me look up his address, talk to his dad. Yep. And then basically tells him like they should be together. And of course, Preston's like, yes. So they start making out and are basically a couple right away, even though they don't know each other whatsoever. Yeah. Kind of weird. It's really weird. It's weird. It's weird now looking back. And you're like, you really do not know each other.
No, they don't. And it gave
she
people,
definitely does not know him.
Gave people, I think, in high school who had a similar experience to this, like who'd always loved someone, false hope that is going to happen.
So you're telling me there's a chance, basically.
They are the perfect person, I think. Because isn't that always the thing? Like you build this person up in your mind, especially for 4 years of high school. Yeah. And then you'd probably end up dating him and be like, like this isn't what I thought it was.
I mean, all my crushes are all deadbeats. So it's like, forget you guys.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
So that's just one story.
So that's the main story. Kenny and Denise have ended up locked together in a bathroom. Kenny's trying to about to get it on with somebody, but he feels like he has to do all this pre-sex rituals, which I don't know where he read about these pre-sex rituals, but he's trying to put condoms on before.
Is there okay, so girls had Sassy Magazine, 17YM, whatever.
Sassy? What's Sassy Magazine?
Sassy Magazine. Was that a 70s one?
I don't know, but I want it.
I think it was a 70s or 80s one.
I want a Sassy mag.
Did boys have an equivalent to a YM or 17?
GQ?
That would
Maxim?
give them these terrible tips?
Sure.
Yeah.
Probably.
Maxim maybe?
Yeah, probably terrible magazines. So, so he's, unfortunately the upstairs bathroom has a faulty door. You're not supposed to close it. Who should walk in but Denise? Sees him fluffing his penis with drying his penis with the hairdryer. And
why was he doing that?
Because he spilled he peed on himself or something. I don't know. He got something splashed back. I don't know. Okay. So they're trapped in the bathroom together, and so they used to be friends way back when they were little. So they kind of have a little reconnection here, and one thing leads to another, and they actually end up doing it. So Kenny gets his sex, and Denise finds someone she actually kind of likes but didn't expect to, and so that's a cute little sitch. And then we have Mike and William. So William has gone on a great character arc here. He's gone from nerd to most popular guy at the party. So as it happens, he started drinking and became cool, which is 110% what happens every time. So he's the most popular guy. All the girls are throwing themselves at him. He remembers he has to do this ruse with Mike, so does try to do it, but too late. He remembers that his buddies are waiting in the back to jump Mike as soon as he runs out. And so,
but also he makes friends.
Oh yeah,
with
and then
Mike
they kind of make friends.
Drunk.
So then they're both drunk and they're talking. Yeah. There's a piano. They have a cute. Yeah, he apologizes to being addicted to him all high school. So William was gonna try to stop him from running out there because he didn't want the thing to happen to him. He felt bad. But his friends don't realize it. It's dark. They had lost their flashlights in a lightsaber battle, and they jump Mike and William. Put pantyhose over their heads and hacky sacks on their nipples and plastic squids.
There's Old Spice.
Putting them in a compromising position and then taking a Polaroid. And then they realize after they take the Polaroid that it's William, and they're like, oh no. But then as luck would have it again, at that moment the cops arrive. Yeah. So everyone flees, but Mike and William are passed out because they got the chloroform
that they made
in science class. So they're passed out, and so the cops take them into the police station. So William, is a little nerd, so he's like, wow, I can't believe this is happening, but he's also kind of like, wow, I'm so cool. Finds out that Mike took the fall for him, basically, which is decent thing for Mike Dexter to do. William tries to go and thank him the next day at the diner, and Mike is back to being an asshole and is like, you can't stay with us, and they're mean to him, so nothing's changed.
Urkel. He calls him Urkel, which is like.
And then he does that thing where
lame.
you make glasses with your.
It's the worst.
I can't. Ow.
That guy's the worst. He does play
that.
an
Can you do
asshole,
that?
like,
I can't do that. It's too hard. My fingers don't bend that way. I think I fucked up my hand from playing too many games on my cell phone. Why is that one finger in your mouth? Oh my God. Oh, you got it.
Urkel.
Good job. I can't do
What is
it.
the noise he makes? Like,
Sounds like a walrus or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so sad. Yeah, so that's the main 3 stories, I guess. We did it.
We did it.
We did it.
Wow. There's a band at the party named Loveburger
That never gets to play.
They never get to play. You never hear them play.
They
And
break
it's a
up.
Bummer
Yeah.
because the lead singer is dressed like Austin Powers.
Yeah.
It's like weird makeup on and stuff. So you never realize or figure out. And everyone wears like weird hats. Like the bassist or the guitarist has a pork pie hat, and then Donald Faison, who's the drummer, is like a cowboy
The
hat.
pork pie hat guy looked like the guy in Buffy the Vampire Slayer who gets like attacked by the vampire and does like the one that I hate at the dance.
Where's the pork pie?
I hate that one. Oh man. But yeah, they're funny, and they're just always having spats, and they break up, and then they're like, let's do a reunion tour, and then they're about to play, and they're like 1, 2, 3, and then the cops bust in. So bummer.
And then you have the girl who owns the house, as Sweeney said, who's like a really good character. She's like constantly flipping out, and then by the end is like so frazzled. She has like stains all over her dress. She had kind of like an updo at the beginning of the party.
She's
very
way
formal,
overdressed.
really,
Way
overdressed.
overdressed.
And this is the '90s, so everyone is severely underdressed for life. Let's say.
True.
And she just looks so fancy. It's great. Speaking of that, yeah, the '90s style is just like on point. You have like Jennifer Love Hewitt in like a tank top with like, remember the built-in bra tank tops that were kind of like a big deal, came out, I would say, like in the 90s at that point.
For sure.
She probably had a bra under that because she's pretty big boobs, but I remember that was such a novelty. You'd be like, yes, like I don't have to wear a bra. It's like so amazing. So if you were her,
Definitely.
lower boobed, smaller boobed woman, I guess, which we were.
I can't find what the girl's name. Who's the girl whose house it was? I feel like she was in something else, and now I can't figure it out.
The pretty fly for a white guy style with like the crazy wide leg jeans.
Oh, girl whose party it is her character's name, of course. It's good.
JNCOs, those were called, I guess, and they were these giant like wide leg jeans, and Denise makes like a joke about it that you could like fit a family of 5 like into his pants. And on Seth Green, he's like such a tiny guy that the clothes just look like so hilarious on him. He's wearing goggles at
and
one
like his
point.
hair isn't like braided in these little tiny like little braids,
Little
short
almost
braids.
try
He's
to be
short
little-
hair
yeah.
and he's braiding them.
Not like dreadlocks, but like supposed to be like, I guess like kind of braids.
Totes. The other favorite characters, there's an exchange student who they're like making say silly things at, and so he is the famous like, will you touch my penis? Do you want to touch my penis? I'm a sex machine. Very funny. There's like this guy whose shtick is to like bring up embarrassing stories to people. Like that's just like, hey man, remember that time you sat in that poop in class and everybody was like, what's that smell? And you were like, not me, but I was like, it's you, man. Like that's like how all his stories go. It's pretty funny. I never thought too much about him back in the day,
He's
but I
really
really
funny.
enjoyed him this time around.
There's the Melissa Joan Hart yearbook girl who wants everyone to sign her yearbook, and she's like bugging people, and they're constantly throwing the yearbook away or in the pool or something. And she's, like,
Did she get it back at the end? I hope so.
It went to the pool the last I saw,
boy.
so probably got wet. All the ink ran.
Oh, so
Bummer.
sad.
I know.
So sad. Who else? The friends, the girls are all kind of like cookie cutter, like popular girls. Are there any other good side characters? There's just like random people here and there.
I like stoners. Yeah, again, there's like a lot of cliques. So you see like the stoners, like the jocks, the nerdy kids, the girl in like who has this like weird crochet hat and calls everybody sheep.
Sheep. Yeah. My question is like, why? So like in high school, you have all these cliques. All of these cliques are not typically interacting with each other. Like I just found it hard to believe that they would all be at this party. It just seemed a little cray.
She just invited everybody, I guess, which I don't know why.
Or I mean, we don't know like if invites went out, if it was like a Nigel with the Bree situation, and like
I think in the beginning, remember there was like. It was just them all at graduation, and someone was like, "There's a party. You going to the party?" Like everyone was kind of passing it on.
Right, but it could be like one of those things where like she just invited a few people over, and then word got around, and
but
then
she wasn't freaked out and not letting people in.
That's true.
Kind of a thing. So
that's true. She had roped off the like fancy part of the house, so she had been sort of prepared, but not prepared enough to have a rager.
I mean, yeah, it's really that's a lot of.
There's a whole thing. I mean, if you have a party, this is what you do. You take all the valuables, you lock them in a room somewhere, so people can't get to them. Nothing breaks. Take pictures, so you know where things go if you're not familiar. Parties 101, guy. Parties 101.
Yeah, so this did not happen in my school. Here's why. Graduation, you had graduation, and then they were always worried that kids were going to have parties and drink and drive. So they had this thing called Project Graduation, which like you raise money for, I think. And what it was they rented a boat that would sail around. So we're from Cape Cod, which is like an hour and a half from Boston, but it would like sail around Boston Harbor. So we all took a bus up to Boston and got on this boat, and we're on this boat cruising around Boston Harbor all night.
Yeah, all night.
So there was no like after party. I think we had a party in the afternoon.
Well, we had one
like,
after prom.
Family,
after prom, there was we just had a party after prom. Like,
right.
but there were parties all year, so like it wasn't like we only had one party the whole year. So, but yeah, we didn't have a big graduation
no
party.
Graduation
but mostly, prom. I would say was the big party. Yeah, but I mean, tons of parties in high school, and this movie definitely gave me like a false sense of, I guess, of what parties in high school would be like.
I never went to one this big. I mean, that's the thing with these movies. They're always like these huge parties.
there were a few. Like, I feel like some people had some pretty good ragers. I threw some great parties in our house. We called it Hotel 3000. It was like a whole week of parties, so pretty great.
Were people like you didn't know there?
I mean, like we just said, we knew everybody in our high school. Like, there were kids from other grades that I didn't know that well.
And
but
you weren't
like,
friends with?
People,
Wow.
People would bring people.
Who slept in my bed?
Someone had sex with someone in your bed.
I remember that.
And
Didn't
then
I find a condom?
You did.
Oh, yeah.
So we found a used condom under the bearskin rug. I'll tell you who it was after. Yeah. And it was just so much fun. But never things got like so out of control like this. Like the cops never came. I think the cops only came to like one or two parties.
I don't think I've told this story yet. So I never had any parties. So we had Sweetie here, had all the parties, and then
Liz had a lot of parties.
And our older sister Liz had parties. So I remember specifically one, our parents went away. I was staying at my grandparents' house down the street. For some reason, like, they let Liz in charge of the house. Like, that seems insane to me. She was not a good girl, let's say.
Where was that?
Obviously was going to have a party. You were either with them or maybe you stayed at Grammy's with me. But I had like a summer job or something. So I had to go back home and grab like a pair of shorts or something like that. I don't know. So I get into the house, and yeah, there were like some cars there, but not like a ton. But I walk in, and the house.
This was like the next
stunk.
day.
This was
right?
the next morning. Yeah. The house like stunk, and
like what?
Like beer, like old beer, like cigarettes. So this would have been like mid 90s. So right around this time, let's say.
Yeah.
And the house stunk, and then I go into my bedroom, and there is a couple in my bedroom, and someone is sleeping in my bed, and this with a guy, and the guy pops up, and he's like, "Hey," or something, and I was like, "Oh," I'm like, "Who the hell is that?" I like shut the door immediately. I go into the living room, and all the furniture was pushed like into the corner, and our dog Nikki was in the corner, poor thing, like needed to go to the bathroom. I let the dog out. I was traumatized. So then I go and I sit on the front porch. I'm crying on the front porch, and this guy comes out, thinks I'm my sister, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" and starts like asking me things, and I'm like, "Go away." Oh my God, I was so pissed. And then I think Liz comes out and talks to me. He's like, hey, like, I need you to be cool and like not tell mom. And I was like, in your dreams. Oh my God, it was terrible. It was terrible.
And there were like all these,
from the neighbors
there were all
anyway,
these firework casings and stuff everywhere. That was a crazy party. I think I guess I was at Grammy and Group. Oh, I remember the firework. I don't know. I must have. That was weird. Where was I? Strange. But yeah, I remember that story. I love that story. It's a good one. But yeah, so parties, good times.
Gotta fight for your right to party.
All right. So, should we talk about songs?
Sure.
Yeah. So the song that we were mentioning. So this soundtrack, I would say, is pretty much mostly songs that occurred during this time period of when the movie came out, I would say.
Other than Mandy.
Barry Manilow. Ugh. A few words about Barry Manilow. I hate Barry Manilow pretty much because of this movie, but like that guy, like he looks fake. Like he looks like a fake person. Like whenever I see him, I'm like, that's Barry Manilow? It looks like, I always think it's a guy pretending to be Barry Manilow. It's just Barry Manilow.
Looks like Gloria Gopher.
Yeah. He does. Just like the guy from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yes.
Like same thing.
Under the umbrella tree.
But yeah, the fucking Mandy song, like, I've just like never listened to a Barry Manilow song in my life, I don't think. Did he do the Copa?
Yes. So
Okay,
I am
just
a Barry
kidding.
Manilow
I have.
because in 8th grade or 6th grade, my friend Jane Ornberger was obsessed with that song, the Copacabana, and she'd sing it all the time. And I'd be like, what is this song?
That is my number one song that I like to Weird Al for like cats, babies. I sing it for Ronnie. Like her name was Ronnie. She was a baby. You know, you just, like,
feathers in her
it's great.
hair, and her dress cut down to there. His name was
But
Rico.
fuck Barry
He wore a
Manilow.
diamond.
Fuck Barry Manilow, you guys. Fuck him. But the song that I loved that is in this movie for a second, it's maybe in the movie for like a second, is Smash Mouth's classic, maybe their debut single, Walking on the Sun. Mm-hmm. There ain't no joke when might as well be walking on the sun. Okay, I can't tell you, you can't explain sometimes why you love the things that you do. Like this song, I don't know, like I just loved it. I loved listening to it. I got the CD for Christmas and I fucking wore that CD out, just playing track one, like over and over. I did not listen to the rest of the songs on this album, only that one. And for Christmas that year, I got this CD and also this little pair, I think I've talked about this before, but this like little pair of speakers. It's like mini speakers that you plugged into your headphone.
Blue?
No, they were black.
Like blue.
That was the psych. That was the Discman.
Yes,
we talked about that. The Mandy Moore one.
Yes.
That was after, I think. But this one was just like a set of little external speakers that you would plug in where the headphones go, and it would play the music on the speakers. So it was pretty cool. No one else in school had these, and I brought it like on the bus, and I would listen. We would listen to TLC like on the bus. But I would listen to this song over and over again. I remember Christmas, because we went to Joanna's or something. It was like around that time, and I was listening to it on my Discman, and I just listened to this the whole time. I made a whole music video in my head. Like I was so obsessed with it. I loved that song. Good times. Terrible song though.
Terrible song. And that song, and then like the Fat Boy Slim, like one where the video is like in a mall. Remember?
Yeah.
Both those to me are
Praise
like
You?
equivalent to like just nails on a chalkboard now.
Praise You, that one?
Of the 90s.
With the Cult?
Yes.
Praise you like I should.
Just yeah. Some of the 90s music, most of it was so terrible. God,
there's a lot. Yeah.
so
There's
bad.
a lot.
But what other songs did Smash Mouth sing?
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on. Go play.
Yeah. Did they do like a song from Shrek?
That's the one.
I keep saying Shrek.
It's that one, I think. I don't know, but it's that. The All-Star was the one in Shrek.
Okay.
Which is so weird because it didn't have anything to do with anything about Shrek, and it was like, why are you using this song? This is just to get people to listen to that song.
Is that guy auto-tuned? What's the deal with his voice?
He just has a husky voice.
It's just husky. Okay.
It's not auto-tuned. It's not Cher. No, it's good.
Oh,
It's a good song, okay? But yeah, 90s good times.
What
Any other
songs
songs?
are in the soundtrack?
There was one that I was like,
'Cause yeah, a lot of them really hit home for me, and now I'm not like remembering.
I will pull up the
Soundtrack.
soundtrack.
Let's
Let's discuss the soundtrack.
Blink 182.
I don't remember Blink 182.
Which one?
Which one? Good one, Jimmy. All right. Walking on the Sun. There was a Creed song, Ode. What? I'm not sure. Oh, Inside Out by Eve 6. I will swallow my pride. I'm gonna empty inside.
Love that.
Mandy, of course. Get on. This is how I know. Some of these, like, I don't recognize, but there's a Rob Zombie song. Can't get enough of you, baby.
Can't get enough
another
of
Smash
you.
Mouth
Oh,
song.
wow, okay.
Sorry.
Heavy on the
Yep.
Smash Mouth. Yeah.
Totes. Cold Beverage. G-Love and Special Sauce. Oh, that
There's
Sublime song that we
Yep.
were singing.
Yep.
Mucho gusto, me llamo Bradley. I'm hornier than Ron Jeremy. The Graduate by Third Eye Blind.
Oh,
I don't remember how that one goes, but Third Eye Blind, pretty classic 90s. Don't Leave Me This Way. I love that song. Maybe your heart is gonna know about me. Please don't leave me this way. It's a good song. The Mac. Is that Return of the Mac? No. Different. Groove is in the Heart.
Who's in the heart?
Good one. Herbie Hancock. Wow. It's Tricky. Run DMC. Always one of my favorites. Funky Cold Medina by Tone Loc. Our bud. Another Third Eye Blind song, London. I don't remember that one. Love Hurts. Hurts my
Paradise
love.
City.
Paradise City. Wow, there are a lot of songs in this. Hit 'em with the he. Missy Elliott. Funk number 49. Great. Caress Me Down is the Sublime one that we were singing. Flashlight. George Clinton. Wow, a lot of like classics here. Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet's that one that's in Empire Records too. That's by Dire Straits. Huh. I think that's mostly it. Damn. Oh, okay. Jimmy, you were right. Damn It is the song by Blink 182.
Nice, honey.
Good job. When Will I See You Again? And Only You.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, so like probably you would recognize them if you heard them, but those are the big ones, I guess.
Yeah, good soundtrack.
Good times.
Okay, and then like lastly, let's leave off on a couple more, mentioning a couple more high school movies, whether we've done them or not. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
This is what I could come up with. I don't know if you have any others. American Pie. Haven't done that yet.
Sexual, raunchy,
Very sexual.
comedy.
Yep.
Teen comedy.
Yep. 10 Things I Hate About You.
Classic.
Did it. Classic. One of our favorites. All That. Did it.
Classic.
Done it. One of our favorites.
Yep.
I put Road Trip on here. Now, technically, those guys are in college, but it feels like a high school
I never
movie.
watched it.
She's never watched it. I quoted it actually maybe 20 minutes ago.
I know, and I didn't know what you were
she
talking about, and I said I didn't see that. Did you not hear me say that? Hello?
Good thing you didn't lie and be like, ha ha,
Man,
and laugh.
duh.
And then I find out.
No, I don't do that anymore.
2 years ago that
I don't do that anymore. I've turned a new leaf, okay? God.
Empire Records.
Ugh, so good.
Yep, definitely high school movie. Varsity Blues, I'd say.
Clueless.
Clueless, yep. And Bring It On.
Bring it on. Yep. Good one.
So we've done a chunk, but still some more to go for these 90 high
Yeah,
school
I'm
movies.
surprised it took us so long to do this one. I feel like this is one that I always mention, and you would be like, no.
I know. I've turned over a new leaf.
We've all turned over new leaves. We're basically new trees. Cool. So that's the flick. I would like everybody to know that Sweetie confided in me that she had a song that she overplayed also that she's embarrassed by, and it's Where to Party At by what was that band? What are they called?
Jagged Edge.
Jagged Edge.
Featuring Nelly.
Featuring Nelly. Hey, where the party at?
Girls just want to know where the Bacardi's at.
So bad. Oh God, Bacardi.
Oh, makes
I
my
like
skin
the
crawl.
other Jagged Edge song, which was like Was that Meet Me at the Altar? No. Jagged
Steal from my
Edge. Let's Get Married. Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
Was it?
Meet Me
Yeah.
at the Altar. Yeah. Wow.
Like the dance.
Wow, guys. Wow. They had a lot of albums. Wait, what? Okay, they've been together since 1997. They released a CD in 2020. What is happening?
We're not in the same
my
circuit that still plays.
God.
kind of stuff.
So good. But anyway,
Remember this one? This is Jagged Edge, but Peaches and Cream.
Oh God. I thought that was the one that you were going to say that you're obsessed with. I do remember you being obsessed with that one. Yes.
had like a
Well, that
whole-
peaches and cream. It's like, oh man, good times.
Phase of like that
R&B.
R&B, yeah. I had an R&B phase, I guess.
I mean, I was severely into Keith Sweat when I was in elementary school.
Elementary school.
I loved Keith Sweat. I loved him. Also,
What's the main Keith Sweat song?
I always forget, and then I have to look it up. But I had that album too in my Discman, but I would only listen to like 2 songs by Keith Sweat. One was like Twisted. Twisted. Girl got me twisted over you. Yeah. Little sweetie on the school bus. Hey, baby. You know you are my love boy. So good. Like what? I mean, this is why I'm such a cool person today, is because I have all these experiences.
Old soul.
An old soul. It's from Dad. Dad fucking like got all the CDs from the CD thing, the CD
B&G
club.
Music Club.
Yeah. So we had all these CDs. So that's where I got most of my hits.
Pick out some CDs.
Keith Sweat.
sounds good.
You know how I felt about Black Men. I loved all of them. Just give me all of the content.
Question: do you think Keith Sweat is his real name?
I'm gonna Google it.
Absolutely
Google
not.
it.
It's
It
not
could
his
be.
real name.
Do you think Alicia Keys is her real name?
No.
I think it is. Maybe it's not. Okay, let's see. Keith Sweat, born. Okay, well, it says it says Keith Douglas.
Yeah,
I think he was born.
Right.
He was born Keith Sweat. Oh my God!
Right. He changed it.
No,
legally.
no. His
Wow.
mom's name is Juanita Thompson. His father, Charles Sweat.
Okay, this
A factory
makes me-
worker.
This makes me feel so much better.
I'm glad everyone learned that Keith Sweat's real name
This
is,
is
in
the
fact,
biggest
Keith
news
Sweat.
you've heard.
Someone
this week,
else's
guys.
name is actually that
Yeah.
too. I forget, but it's like something ironic like
Yeah,
that.
you're meant to be this.
Yeah, you were
Occupation,
you were
whatever.
meant. Now I have to just double check about Alicia Keys real quick. Are we sure about that? That's not her name. Alicia Cook. Okay. Fuck you, Alicia Keys.
Keys, my
You know Keith Sweat. All right, cool. All right, good times. Trip down memory lane. All right, well, thanks for listening. You can find us on Twitter at The Sweetie Club or on Instagram at Large Marge Sent Us. Thanks as always for listening. Bye. Keith Sweat. The second cousin is a rape artist.